my name is Allison, and this is my COVID-19 first-person primary source. So today I'm going to be talking about the ways in which the COVID-19 pandemic has affected my life, and how I view our current ongoing predicament, and how I see us moving forward in the pandemic. So for me, the COVID-19 pandemic was definitely a big adjustment, especially academically. Senior year was very rough. Going from online school or in-person school to online school was definitely a big adjustment. I've always been, a very hands-on learner, and school and home are definitely two very separate things for me. So being home, I kind of lost all that motivation to do the schoolwork that I normally had plenty of motivation to do. Initially, when we first transitioned to online, we were all at home. I was trying to stay really on top of my work, especially with AP exams in the late spring, and so I was really trying to stay on top of it. But as the semester moved along, and many of my teachers weren't really sure how to navigate online school, I just lost a lot of that drive to continue working hard on schoolwork, especially considering it was senior year. And typically for most students, the second semester of your senior year isn't super important, considering you've already applied to colleges and they're mainly looking at your first semester grades and GPA. So I wasn't quite as motivated. And I eventually got back on top of it and completed the missing assignments that I hadn't done, and it turned out okay, but that was definitely a lower point for me. It also just was a rough end to the year. I was in my high school spring musical, which was so much fun, but we were only able to do our first one or two shows. So luckily my parents were able to see it, but my brother, who was going to come from college to our hometown to come see it, wasn't able to, and they hadn't recorded it either, so he never really got to see me sing, which normally I wouldn't be super upset about, but it was the one musical or show I'd ever been in at my high school. I actually had my own song / solo, because I was always ensemble, so that was kind of a bummer. I don't know, it was definitely hard, just seeing friends. Everything was very weird. Seeing family, I couldn't see a lot of my extended family. I remember around the holidays last year, I came home, for Christmas, and we did Thanksgiving, just the four of us, which we've never done before. So that was really weird. It was fun because we got to make all the things only we like, but it was definitely different. I didn't have all that fun chit chat that I usually have with all my extended family, updating them on my life and how college was going, etc. And same with Christmas. We just spent the day at home, and it felt really weird because normally, you go to all your family's houses and it's lots of hubbub, but that was definitely different. So yeah, I think COVID-19 for me, the pandemic it was just a big shock. I feel like it really came out of nowhere, and it was just senior year was just going up, and then March came, and I remember it was a lot of thinking one thing was going to happen, and then being disappointed, because I remember initially when it first hit, everyone thought, oh, this is only going to last 4 weeks, it'll be over, we just thought, oh, we'll go back to school in a month, and it's been almost 2 years now, and we're still in a pandemic, which is insane. So that kind of leads me to the topic of where I see the pandemic going, and where I kind of see how our current events, how things are going to progress. It's disappointing to see, just in general as a country, the failure from the get-go to wear masks and be smart about this pandemic. The I don't know if I'm saying this right, the politicization of mask wearing, how it became such a political issue when it shouldn't be. It should be a health issue. Was really frustrating to watch and see, just because I felt like I was doing my part and doing everything I could and trying so hard so that this pandemic could go away faster, but all the people who weren't were making it impossible to get out of this. So it was frustrating for sure, and is still frustrating, because many people are not vaccinated, so this pandemic is just continuing to occur. It's ongoing, because people aren't getting vaccinated and still aren't wearing their masks. So it's frustrating, considering it's been 2 years and we're still in this pandemic where, you see other countries like, I don't know, New Zealand, and they're all back to normal because people listened and they did their part. So I'm hoping that we can eventually get enough people vaccinated that things can begin to go back to normal. But it's just so uncertain with the way our country has responded so far. I'm not really sure where it's gotten better for sure, but we have vaccines. My mom already got the booster. Like, I'll probably get the booster this year or next year. But yeah, it's just still a time of uncertainty, and I'm hoping that things can eventually begin to get better and progress. So, thank you.